Hey, Michelle, we're going live any second now. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I want to do a shout out to the frontline healthcare essential workers in our country, everywhere. They just
Excellent.
they just do the most during the hardest time, right?
Exactly. Frontline essential workers. Here we go. Oh, guys, today we have with us Michelle Murphy, an accomplished actress who recently starred in a 10-episode Japanese TV series partnered with Disney, and it's called Lost Man Found. Michelle's journey as an actress has taken her on a wild ride from Michigan to Tokyo, and we are thrilled to have her with us today to share the incredible experience on set and the challenges she faced. Speaking Japanese, I'm going to have to ask her about that and bringing characters to life. So,
Yes.
Michelle, say something in Japanese quick.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
That's it. I love
Good
that.
morning.
It is a good morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. That's such a great intro. It's just like,
Do you know that gets me bouncing every day. I love that. So
mm,
we are here to talk about you and Japan and Japanese and Michigan and how you got into this. And when I was reading your bio, you said you started with a woo woo idea for 2022.
I
Tell us
did.
about the woo woo idea and how it came to life.
You know, I put it out there that I wanted to travel for work, and I'm an actor, so that could mean anywhere, right? And I was like, I really want to manifest travel. And I had done an audition in December, a self tape for this thing that filmed in Michigan. And then in January, right after my resolution, I got this call back, and it was so like it just was one of those moments that just felt magical. Like when I popped on, all the producers were on there, and it just felt completely like dropped in and special. And I was like, I love this experience, no matter what, even if I don't get it, I'm just going to remember this wonderful experience.
Uh,
Turns out I did get it. It was me. I was the one, and it was supposed to, it was filming in Michigan. And right before I'm supposed to leave, so I'm excited. I'm from the state of Michigan. So I
uh,
get to travel, perhaps see my family. All of a sudden, production's like, is your passport updated? And I was like, yeah, yeah.
uh,
And they're like, it turns out we are going to come to Japan. The border is still closed, but we're able to do people here on a work visa. And so now I'm going to Michigan and Japan. I
yeah, because
mean,
that happens every day.
that happens all the time, right? With my little, woo woo,
Yeah.
out in the universe,
So
really cool.
with your woo woo, did you do the like, the little what do you call the board, the Pinterest
Oh,
board and the manifestation every day and
no, all of this woo-woo stuff is actually pretty new for me.
uh,
Like, definitely, during the pandemic, I realized, like, my mindset was actually a little bit more negative than I would've liked,
mhm.
and I had to lean into every kind of positive there was. And so that was where that started. And I realized like I had even graded myself in terms of like my spirituality. It was like mental, physical, emotional life, and spirituality. And the lowest one was spiritual. And
Wow.
so I was like, what does that mean? How, and the woo woo and all of that stuff is sort of in that, and that was where I started to do some real work.
So this is a Japanese series. It was a 10
Hmm.
episode series,
Yep.
and you speak two words of Japanese.
0. I spoke
Yeah.
0. Arigato.
So how do you manage? You went from Michigan to Japan, and
Yes,
the first thing you do is you get off of the plane because you had to fly.
yes. Well,
And
let me start with, if I may,
yes,
I was flying from LAX to Chicago. And then
okay.
from Chicago, we were taking a transport van down to Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is where we were filming. And this is where I also want to give a shout out to Keiko Takuchi, who is the assistant stylist on the American leg of this journey, right?
Okay.
And Keiko and I were in this transport van together for hours. And it was just one of those incredible, like meetings of the mind. We're both moms, we're both in the entertainment industry, we're both leaving our family. And Keiko is from Japan, has been in the United States for 20 years. She
Okay.
was the one who really set this tone for me about what to expect working with this company, like Japanese culture. I'm literally writing down notes from her, like everything, like how to say things and this and that. Like, I am so grateful to her because everything that she just welcomed me, which is very Japanese, that is the
Uh-huh.
way. Um, and really just set the tone for how this whole shoot was going to go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Had
huge.
she actually worked with the people that you ended up working with in Japan before?
No, they were so she was part of Radiant Pictures, which is here in Los Angeles, and
Mhm.
then there is the crew over in Japan, which is like NHK, a whole bunch of other things that don't matter to anybody listening. Um, but so the Michigan component, I was very comfortable with because I'm from the state of Michigan. I'm playing a nurse
Okay.
in the hospital in Michigan. Like, I am as Midwest as they come. Like, this is not a stretch for me. It's a very, like pragmatic, taking care of business type person. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This
Uh-huh.
is why I was hired to play Sandy. And so I was so confused. I was like, why is the nurse in Michigan going to Japan? Like, I
Right.
could not figure that one out. Like, we're here. Anyway, I was like, no complaints. I'll
Yeah.
go. I'll happily go. So when I ended up in Tokyo,
Mhm.
it was like just an explosion of the senses, right? Like, coming off of pandemic, which felt so isolating,
Mhm.
in many ways, it was so incredible to be out in another part of the world, and it just felt like I was like just chosen to be dropped into this beautiful place.
Wow.
And by gosh, if I was not going to be grateful for being there and really present for every moment, then I was wasting an opportunity.
Just because I have never been to Japan, I've been, Europe, I've been to, South America, but what's the first thing that just, like, struck you when you got off of the plane?
It was so like the airport had out in front, it had this beautiful like um koi pond, right? And these cherry
Mhm.
blossoms. And like the whole place just felt like serene and quiet. And you just wanted to sit and like I literally was like, the airport is so relaxing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of drugs you were on, but yeah. No.
Jet lag for
Yeah.
sure. And it was super fun because they had like right in the I think it's Nikita Airport, they
Uh-huh.
have like a Super Mario display, obviously, Mario and
Yeah.
Luigi and all that. And they have like one of those little green tubes that you can go down in. So I have a 9-year-old son, so I did like a whole little bit da na 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 da na 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 na, it was
Oh
really
my
fun.
god.
So and I love to do a shout out to Hide, who was the driver
Mhm.
for me and the rest of the cast. I didn't mean to make myself sound so special, but um, he was incredible. Like, he sat and took care of every need that we had. And I realized, like, oh, he's just not a driver. Like, he is like the ambassador to this whole production, like,
Okay.
and we would just sit and talk about our families and this and this and that. It was deep talks, man. It was deep talks.
Now, see, I want people to understand, you're not just talking about going over doing some little independent film. You were
No,
working with major stars in
yes,
Japan, like
yes,
the
international stars.
yes, the
Say it.
Tom
You were
Cruise
gonna
of
say it, Tom
Japan. There
Cruise.
we
Yes,
go.
the Tom Cruise of Japan. Yes,
Yes.
and I had asked production, here because the stars, it's the main character is Satoru Matsudo. That's the main character of the show, and it's played by an actor named Taiga Nakano. Did I say that right? I did. And
Okay.
then the other actor who played Takeshi, his older brother, is Tsuyoshi Kusanagi.
Yoshi
And
Kusanagi.
he is the Tom Cruise / Justin Timberlake of Japan. And I had
That is
asked,
awesome.
I'm like, are these guys like, like famous, and they're like, yes. And I was like, oh, like, like walk down the street famous. They're like, no, like private, restaurant dining famous. And it was like, oh, wow, like they couldn't have been further from those, like, superlatives, like movie star, super. I mean, they were so incredibly gracious and kind and just the best scene partners ever. There was no ego, there was none of it, no hierarchy on set. It was
Uh-huh.
incredible.
Did you find working in Japan on set different than working in LA on set? Is it the same experience, different? Like, what's it like?
It was different in that, here in Los Angeles, I do a lot of co-star, trying to do guest star level material.
Mhm.
It's hard, man. This is a film and television town, and we are saturated with the best actors in the world.
Absolutely.
And so what was different there is that on set, like co-star stuff, I'll just break it down real quick. Like co-star, you're usually giving a piece of information to the series regular. You know what I mean? You're
Mhm.
like, yep. Oh, I saw him. He was wearing a red shirt and he went that way. You know what I mean? You're like you're there to provide information, moving the story along. Now, this particular case, I got to collaborate with everybody. I was part of the series regular crew. It was important, why Sandy was there, what she was saying, part of the story. And
Yeah.
so that was incredibly freeing and nice and treated so incredibly well. Not that I'm not treated well here,
Mhm.
but it was so different over there, this whole experience. And
Talk about
yeah.
craft services.
Oh gosh. The food, hang on. Of course, today of all days, my throat is like dry.
I got you. I got my bottle hidden over here. So whenever I need to drink, I'm just gonna put you on the screen. You'll just be like this.
Oh, thank you. Arigato. The food is so incredible over there. And like even the dining experience is so like calming, everything is in its place. Every dish, everything. You scrape the plates. There's not like you expect somebody else to do that for you.
Uh-huh.
Cue the music.
Let you here. There we go. I just muted you, so it only happened just one little second because I've had shows where it's like, and I understand that. So you just take your water and we'll be all good. Then we'll talk about the food. How you feeling? Nice. You and Al Jarreau. Yeah, I feel you. I see it coming. Much better, right?
Maybe we'll just do mine for this part. I'll just like
There you go.
not talk.
No.
Eating.
Well, we're talking about craft food, craft services, so you can do that right now. You can
Mhm.
just
I went out with when I wrapped, I went out with the producers after,
uh-huh.
and it was all sushi, and they were like, we can order for you, and it was like stuff that you would never like order. Um, and I could tell by the little like glint in their eye when it was something crazy, you know what I mean? When they're, it's like the eyeball of some, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no.
and I was just, but I know, but I was just like, bring it, like, bring it.
Well, you know what?
Delicious.
Talk about fear. The
Mm,
fear of the whole experience, not just like,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna eat that, but talk about the fear of the whole experience, like not knowing Japanese, needing to use a
Right.
translator.
Right.
How does that go?
There's so much pressure that happens, like all of your work, all of your prep that has gotten you to this place. There's like 29,000 steps that just landed you in Japan.
Okay.
You're on set, you've got two cameras, you've got like 50 crew, the stakes are so high. And you're like, dry mouth. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, everybody's looking you. Okay, what are my lines? Okay, okay, okay.
Hmm.
And it was really like me finally just giving myself permission to go, this fear, we're going to silence you because we're here. We deserve to be in this moment. Look how much work we've done to be in this moment.
Yes.
If I give in to you, then I'm going to regret this whole experience and be like, why didn't I just. So that
Mhm.
was how I showed up on set every single day, with this joy to create, this joy to collaborate. Because once I can focus in on something like that, then the fear is like not even there, at all. And I talked about, if I may,
Yeah.
they had hired a model, not an actor, for a scene, and she's beautiful. And that was the point. She's supposed to rattle our series regular, and where he can't really form words, and my character is just like, oh Lord, get it together. Um, and she'd never acted before. And she's English is like, I think she was Dutch, like English is her second language. She's working in Tokyo. She speaks Japanese. She's like the most incredible person. She's being given all of this direction and she's getting very nervous. It's very hard to be given a ton of direction and then deliver. And I immediately like wanted to help her and like
Mhm.
put my hand on her back. And I was like, let's just breathe and talk and listen, and we had this really magical sort of connection, just like human to human. Let's like strip away all of this pressure and stress and boil this down to we're communicating and
Mhm.
talking, and I was so grateful to be able to give that experience to her because somebody gave that experience to me years ago and I never forgot it.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know that was going to happen.
So, now you were speaking to her in English. The direction to you was in Japanese through a translator. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes. Thank you, Yuki. Arigato. The most incredible translator, yeah, because the director, who's also named Tsuyoshi Inoue,
Uh-huh.
he was so, we did like each take, we only did like two takes, so it's like there's not a lot of room for, there's no wind up when you're getting two takes. You're not like, okay, this next one, I'm gonna like, you're swinging here.
You're on.
And so he was so, he's like a lot. He's talking a lot to Yuki. And then Yuki would turn to me and be like, slower. And I'm like, that seemed not,
Yeah.
it was, and it was sort of just this, magical circle of trust. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
and your instincts as an actor, like so much of acting is like, we want to do it right. Did I give you the take that you wanted? Did I please,
right.
rather than, letting that go. And this is what series regulars do. They don't look for permission. They are the character.
Mhm.
They do it like this. And then they don't look at a room full of people and go, did I nail it? You know what I mean? It's the confidence to be like, yep, we got it. Moving on. Right.
Okay. Okay. So that would that be a big difference between, say, being on a movie set and being on a TV set?
Yeah, I feel like movie sets are a little, there's much more room to talk and to explore.
Mhm.
Like TV sets, especially, the series that it was Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. Like
Yeah.
these shows have been on for seasons after season. I mean, they are well-oiled machines, you
Mhm.
know. So there you are coming in and you are delivering information and moving on. There is no, you know what I mean? Can we can we try it where my characters, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's not why you're there, So it's really, it just comes back down to like balancing the fear, of course,
Mhm.
and the confidence and just the trusting of yourself to be like, I'm meant to be here. This is mine. I don't have to pretend to be anybody else.
And you nailed it.
It was
So
amazing. Like that whole experience. I've never been so taken care of, Um, it's such an incredible culture and
Mhm.
so quiet. Like, they don't, and this is just vast general, they're like when they're on the subway, for example, they don't talk. There's no talking. There's no music playing. Like people are reading or this and that. When they're walking down the street, they're not on their cell phones. Like it's a very like quiet, sort of introspective, way of being. And
Huh.
I was down for it. I was at a shrine, when I was doing my, just in my moment, and there was a bunch, like all of a sudden, three loud people came, and I was like, shh. Like all of a sudden, now I'm in charge of like,
Right.
protecting this, silence, and I'm married. I have a son. I, have a very active life here, and it was incredible to be off somewhere by myself, right?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. I will talk for just a moment.
Oh, good.
So no, the thing that I am getting out of what you're saying here, and I want you to summarize some stuff for us. You talked about you've got this overcoming fear, you've got new environment, you've got new relationships, you're building relationships, you've got I think that's what the perseverance, the hard work that you're doing on stage. You've got new opportunities that you're embracing at the same time. If you're going to talk to, let's say, the acting community or people in general who are going to try and embrace some new thing like this, what do you want people to know about what about what you've done and what you can do and what they can do? Nope, you go ahead and cough. I will continue talking. And by the way, guys, I will tell you that as being a host, when you have to cough, it's no stopping it. You just have to like let it go. So be free with it. I feel you, Michelle. I do. I even muted you so
Such
that
a
it
great
wouldn't.
interview. Such a great interview. Yeah, where she coughed the whole time.
That one, yes.
Oh,
So talk about those things. And you want to tell, let's say you want to just get one point across to everyone. What is it that they should learn from what you've gone through and what they can do in their own lives?
I never anticipated, like, I thought an acting career meant you're the best and your career goes like this, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't. Your career goes like this, like that, like this, sometimes over here, sometimes, and then you've got milestones in your life. If you, are perhaps contemplating a family, you want to get married, you want to relocate,
Hmm.
like all sorts of things, right? And it's understanding that that is part of the business and has nothing to do with your self-worth. It has nothing to do with how good you are as an actor. If you love this career, if you love acting, if you love the craft, that is accessible to you at all times, whether or not somebody gives you a job or not.
Okay.
When the jobs come along, they're wonderful. They're a chance to meet and be creative and find more, stories and storytellers, right? But to really continue on in this career, I think it's important to remember that living your life wholly is just as important as the career. Meaning, don't stop yourself from traveling. Don't stop yourself from doing these things because, oh, I can't leave because what if something happens? You have
Mhm.
no idea what's going to happen. I had no idea I was going to end up in Michigan, my home state, my beloved home state, and then Japan.
Nice.
Like, I couldn't plan that, you know?
Yeah.
And so we can have little things, put those wishes out there, live your life, and I hope that everybody ends up somewhere they didn't expect to be,
I
you
think that's
know?
fabulous. That
Mhm.
actually is true because I remember being younger. It's like I gotta wait for this call, and you're waiting by the phone. It's like it may or may not come, but you know what? You got other stuff to do.
You're waiting for permission from somebody else or
Yeah,
something, some entity. Give yourself permission. Give
I
yourself
agree.
permission.
Totally
Do
agree
it.
with you. Let's go outside the box for 1 second.
Oh,
You're
wow.
gonna be the second person ever on the show to play this or that with me. Wait, you ever played this or that? All I'm
No.
gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a question. You get two options, and off the top of your head, you just answer them. Super simple.
Okay.
Like, I say red or blue, and you just pick one. Okay?
Okay.
And we'll see if we can let's see how this goes. Here we go. This or that with Michelle. Here we go. Red
Okay.
carpet events or pajama parties?
Oh, pajama parties.
Snowboarding in Japan or surfing in LA?
Snowboarding in Japan.
Oh, really? Okay. Acting in a serious scene or a silly scene?
Serious.
Okay. Singing on set or dancing on set?
Dancing on set.
Here, this one, I know what I would say. I want to hear you too. Working with an animal co-star or a human co-star?
Working with a human co-star.
Okay. Eating sushi or pizza?
Eating pizza.
Doing a stunt or having a stunt double?
Ooh, doing a stunt.
Yeah, okay. I've got a stunt actor coming up soon that we're going to go into all kinds of cool stuff.
Cool.
Taking a scenic walk or taking a scenic helicopter ride?
Scenic walk.
Okay. Receiving flowers or receiving chocolates on set?
Receiving flowers.
Okay. And how about this last one? Wearing a costume or wearing your own clothes on set?
Costume.
What's your favorite costume that you ever wore?
Mm. I play a lot of nurses, so I'm in a lot of scrubs. I do.
Man.
I don't know why. I realized I always thought I was like, I was going to be a villain. I'm so dark and twisty and moody, and I get to be the villain. And it turns out I have like this warm, empathetic, like nurturing kind of way about me. I'm like,
And you just didn't know, did you?
but I
You-
want to be a villain.
I want people to be able to follow you and get in touch with you and see more of your work. We got you on Instagram at the Michelle Murphy, and you're also on Facebook at Murphy in Oz. And we'll let people try and figure out where that one came from. Thank you so much for being on, Michelle. This has been like really fun. Through the coughing and everything, I loved you. I still do. And I would love to have you on again when your next amazing project comes out. So thank you so much for being here.
Done. Arigato, Michael J.
Arigato.
Arigato.
Okay, arigato, audience. Bye-bye.